Talo falava Samoa, malone ngalului tute ma fe awo le neyaso, ai alo mai au se whapoponga fo ile nei alo Samoa Taulogologo. Tumoati tatu tala, le aso sa whatau tai se sauninga te tala alo iai, se tasi o fono tangata awa le Pasifika, mo le whaatunu tonuina o na tangata whai ngaluenga, o loo awina i ngaluenga i atunu e mamao, maa sa awai ile whaamoemoe lau Samoa Taulogologo. O le sauninga te tala ina alo i aile whaamoemoe le malama ana leila, sa taita ia le susunga le whaifi au fōmai, le asia o sisa le sulu. I le saunoanga au tua le afionga le minista, on matanga luenga o pisinisia la manuia maleipa, le afionga ia le atino uen so ialo. Sa ia whaafeilo a iai whaululunga mai le Pasifika, e maisio sui uma ua awai mai le whanutanga. Sa whailoa le afionga le minista, fionga le atino uen so ialo, le fesoa so anitele ne ngaluenga i fafuatua Samoa. Le ngata o mawai ngaluenga i la tau sa le mawa manoa e ngā lulue ai. Ai le taimio le o ngau ngai o le whaamai le COVID-19 maleiva. Sa fesoso ni tele tupe lafo mai fafo i la tau o ngā lulue ngaluenga whaamai taimi. Ngata mo le tau se ino ainga. Ai o le atina ino le atunu o Samoa. Ai le saunoanga au tua le whaululunga le Basic Plus Implementation Unit. Sa ia saunoa ai o le ngaluenga whaifa atasi le tutua tangata umo le Pasifika, e una ia awala mole anga ilumo la tau tangata, ai maisio le saunga le mu, a ofeanga iai mga luenga ia tunu e mamao, le whana nai se kone mula Samoa Taulogologo. O puipuinga mai whiusua inga o sawanga matanga ma le puipui malu o whanau, o sini au tu ia sa taula iai se tasi o ama onga taua, e peona sa whatau taia le vaenga o whaasau whaava malo, i le aso ana nafi, se atilinga le nei o le reporti. O le aso le nafi lea sa whatau tai ai se o onga whaapitoa mo le tasi le aso. Le Conservation International po le whaasaoina whaavau malo. O se whaalapotuputonga lo ngā lulue mo le puipuina o vaenga uma. Pane nātura e awhia i masoi fuatangata uma. O le aunga ma le whaamoemoa le nei a onga o le una ia. Ma whaalawiloa a wala te atua i sa wanga e awhia i so o se tasi. E maisio le tūtaua leo le malo puipui o whanau. Le nei whaalapotuputonga na amata whaawaina mai le tausanga i lua awhi maleo e ngā lulue ai masa moe le whaasaoina le ngata le si o manga ma le nātura o mea ai mo le malupui o tū manga nu o Samoa. O loo whaipa anga le nei whaalapotutonga ma nisio matanga luenga le malo. Whapea nisio pisi nisi tū ma oti. Ma o sui fo i nei mai nei vaenga. Sa awai le a onga sa whaatinoina. Se pepa whaamatalanga le malo sa whaali ai. Ai le a onga se fōwa ei sa maua mai le matanga luenga le vai whafo le malo New Zealand. O loo whaatupei nai se polo keti mo Samoa matoke lau. A wale atina e ino le ngā taifale. A maisio nisi vaenga tāua le atu inatu LCI. I whaana pututonga i luas fulmalelima i Samoa nei. Fatasi ai matoke lau. Le whaana nei se kunimo lau Samoa Taulogologo. I se ripoti mai ta alonga. O le ale mawhai na ta alo le kapetenio le toa Samoa. Le Leo Junior Paulo. I le ta alonga le semi-final ma le awa Engilani. I le malai o le Arsenal's Emirates ina ua whaasala i se ngaioinga na whaia i le taanunga matonga. Se atonga le nei o le ripoti maia e le kana lele i whanu.
E ui le sao whanga o le tō Samoa mona na tālonga mawa e ilo na tala whaasolopito e le tālonga o semi-final le ipo le lolangi le laka piliki. Ai ua se tūlanga whainga tā ua whasanga i male au o le toa malana pulenga. Ai meiso le awhia i o nisi o le au i whaasalanga o no le whaatinunga o le tālonga i le waweao le aso sā, i le la tālonga ma le awatonga. O le li kapeteni o le toa le li a Junior Paulo, sa ripotia ma iloiloina e le komiti o le lakapiliki, e ala i se ngaioinga o le whaongaina o lona tapulima, e te te aile li tonga ia David Fifita, i le tālonga o le quarter final i Warrington, ma ua mori ai le vaenga mua mua o whaasalanga. Pe tusa o le sfultasi i le waweao le aso lua taimi Britania, sa o i fwai le whai unga al komiti mo le whaasalaina o Junior Paulo, ma o le alema whai ei o na taalo i le taalonga ma Engilani. O le isi alo Samoa le li o Joseph Swalii, o lo mo lia i le whaongaina o lona tulivai e te te eile li i tonga o Felice Faufusi, ma o lo ilo tuto o nei e le komiti le mata upo Joseph, ma au mai ei se tali ma se whai unga i se teimi vave. O Junior Paulo ma Joseph Swalii, o nise o suilonga ma ta alo malolosi i le awa le toa Samoa. Ai se saunoanga le whaia onga le toa Samoa ia Matt Paris i le mai ai o le talonga. Na ia ta uai, lona nau ta inga ia ua lava ni whaasalaina se isi. Ai mai se le li taalo malosi a Joseph Swali a o tapena atu mo le taalonga ma le aua Engelani I lona tala whaasalopito I mwhai o nau fiatu I taalonga o le semi-final. I le tamirisanga le ipo le lalolangi I le laka piliki. I le kana le li whano mo lau Samoa taulongolongo.
Wa whaino nei le alo Samoa ya Mark Hunt, lona malolo li taia mai le taalonga o fusuanga, na ua mai eo nei a whaato I lalo le isi alo Samoa ya Sonny Bill Williams. Se atoanga le nei o le ripoti mai a ele kana le li whano.
See what happens.
A genuine respect, but the time for that is over. Sonny Bill Williams, the bigger, longer of the fighters, the more physically fit, probably the more talented.
O se tūlanga le mautonu no I le alo Samoa ya Sonny Bill Williams. Ina ua malolo I le tuioti le la fusuanga malona uso Samoa moni. O ia foi o se tangata fusu ilonga le tuai ngā tālonga. O fusuanga e whaonga I nai mawai por kickboxing. E peo na iai le whai ungo le vaiaso o tuana yatu. O le taimi mōmole nei uwhaia I nai Sonny Bills I sana fusuanga. Leo lo whamawina e iwa na manu malo, mai I ana fusuanga iwa. O lana fusuanga muli na ia whaato I lalo ai Barry Hall, I le masina o mati. I le amatanga le fusuanga na so longa le li lava. E na wa mata na vevela le fusuanga na amata ilona te talatau au o ne yalo Samoa. Si yo le tamusanga lona tolu. Pe tai tamusanga lona whana mai tawina le malosi o le sofa ia makant. Matua ilonga o na lavea le li o Sonny Bills, ma manu malo ai le tuioti.
Watch that, the convoys, the parties, the community gatherings are all there. And at the probably torn, watching two of your loves, Sonny Bill Williams and Mark Hunt, and Hunt has come out with bad intentions. Round number 4, the left hook from Mark Hunt. They talk about second wind. Mark has it right now, but for how much longer? Nice shot from Sonny Bill Williams.
Good work in there, Sonny. Nice. That's what he's going to start getting used to, doing more of that stuff in close.
Sonny Bill Williams doubling up the left hand. And right uppercut from Sonny Bill Williams.
Again, another one. He's finding his range now.
No talking, no sledging. Mark Hunt knocks the mouth guard clean out of Sonny Bill's guard.
Sonny's hurt. Sonny's hurt.
Bill is down.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Wild here at Darling Harbour because against the odds,
Get that in.
76 remaining, and hopes and prays he can get through it. Mark
He's
Hunt
going for the kill.
is head hunting. There's the big shot.
It's over, Randy. It's going over. My God.
O le mahea o le nei fusuanga na whailoa ia ai le li taia malolo o Markant mai le taalonga o fusuanga I le mawai ai o tausanga e tolu se fulu. Markant o whasa fulwadu tausanga le matua o le soifua. Sa soifua ai to tono ni usila ini matua Samoa. Mana malanga atu au se talia ma wha mautu wailu na ainga e o mai le teminei. E whaana fusuanga wha apolo fesa ya o fiaia na whaia ina e lua. Tasi le tutusa ma le manu malo I le tuioti. I le lampu suanga ma Sonny Bill Williams I le whai ungol vai aso ua tōne atu. Moli aile nganga whaaftei tele o le ne yalo le atunu. E le ngata I ainga o woma e masani a meso le tapu inga. E le ngata I au se talia o New Zealand o Samoa whape atu moto le Pasifika. E le kana le li whano mo lau Samoa taurungurungu.
O le awhaia sina tātou mālonga pupu mo nisi o tātou whaasalalanga whaapisi nisi o na toi taliu mai lea mo ngangana whaapiritania. Your TV2 News will be right back after this short commercial break.
I vai tau o wha, e hawhi ai Samoa I lolonga. E mawhai o na fō ia whawhi tau li ono tula I mai, pe a tātou tangia la pata inga. Whātāu am whātino la pata inga.
This is a special weather bulletin number 2.
Whaongatanga o neone, e polo kai le vai mai le tafe atu I te tono lo whale. Aafia lo maota po o lau pisinisi lo longa. Ta pe vave le mika e le tise, ma se I ese waia mai palaka. Ta pe mika o le vai ma whaungkesi. Ta pena me tō tino ta aua I ni whata maua le lunga. A whaia le malu pui pui alo no foanga, anga I vave lo I no foanga maulu lunga msaunga le mo. Awa I te tau mawhaia so po ia au wala o lolo vaia, ma pui pui le whanau mai autu ma la vai, o na ia awhia ai le soifua ma lolo ina ma leola. Ave le mo lo sa I au wala sa lolo vaia, o na ia awhia ai fale ma maota o isi tangata. A pēlau ta avali se awala o lolo vaia, alu e se vave loa maanga I atu I se no fuanga mawalunga, ma saunga le mo. O lolonga e maua umai o taota mai fale le ta ua, po o vaila au ona, fa au ngā vaila au tala whea ngai, e fa mama ai lo maota ma vaenga uma sa lolo vaia. Ia mauti noa o mango msaunga le mo le whaungkesi a o le itoe fa o ngā ina. Ia mauti noa o mango msaunga le mo palaka ma wae el tise a o le itoe fa o ngā ina. La floa I uma tau mafa ma mea sa wha alea ngā ina le lolo, o na ono a fiailo soifua ma lolo ina. O lolonga, e matua palapala ma wha alea ngā inai vai tau mafa, wha puna vai ino. Mo le saunga le muolo ainga, ta pena, sauni, manofo sila fia, pui pui ma wha atino lapata inga.
Good evening, Samoa. Here's your TV2 News for tonight. Leading our bulletin, the opening ceremony for the Pacific Labour Mobility Annual Meeting 2022 has been conducted today at the Taumesina Island Resort. Your TV2 News was also there to witness this special ceremony. The 2022 Blumum is hosted by the government of the independent state of Samoa and will take place from the 7th to the 10th November 2022. The plum is provided in the Basa Plus arrangements on labor mobility as a mechanism to advance regional labor mobility cooperation. The theme for Plum 2022 is reinvigorating labor mobility cooperation for development. The morning devotion for the ceremony was led by Reverend Dr. Siosi Salisulu. Honorable Minister for Commerce, Industry and Labor, Honorable Latino Wayne Soyalo, in his keynote address stated,
Lover and a very warm and wet welcome to Apia. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the first face-to-face Pacific Labour Mobility Annual Meeting since COVID-19 outbreak. Samoa, like other countries, was not immune to the impacts of the pandemic. The economic effects, the pressures on our health systems, and the overwhelming uncertainties it created were the realities we had to face. However, we have learned to adjust our response and activities to living in post-COVID environment. The plan is a significant medium by which we are advancing inclusive regional labor mobility cooperations in the Pacific.
For the recognized seasonal employer RSE scheme, Samoa has consistently been one of the top 3 suppliers of labor under New Zealand's RSE scheme since its introduction in 2007. Samoa also participates in Australia's Seasonal Worker Program SWP and the longer-term Pacific Labour Scheme PLS, which is now aligned under the Single Pacific Australian Labour Mobility Scheme. Honourable Latino Uwenso Ialo highlighted the increased number of remittances from the RSE employers that really helped with the development of our country.
It's first committed to growing a diversified economy that is suitable and resilient to global, national and local pressures, whilst ensuring that we continue to support measures that reflect local needs and opportunities that further enhance our national resilience. In this regard, the pathway for the development of Samoa 2021-2022 to 2025-2026 highlights increased labor mobility as a key priority area, with our aspiration to expand international labor market opportunities for those living in Samoa in a sensible and manageable way. Expected outcomes for this key priority area includes increased deployments, expanded numbers of labor mobility schemes, and Samoa professional workers' footprints in the Pacific region increased. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, labor mobility opportunities have become even more critical to help support our economic and social recovery efforts, particularly at the household level. Contribution by seasonal workers to improving the standard of living of their families and Samoa's economic recovery during these COVID-19 times is perhaps best reflected in the substantial increase in remittances that Samoa received in a 12-month period that coincided with the implementation of our new government.
This year's problem is uniquely significant as it is the first opportunity to meet in person since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019. It is therefore an opportunity for Pacific labor mobility stakeholders to re-engage, reset, and recommit to advancing an effective level of cooperation that can enhance mutual development gains from labor mobility. Roy Langolango, the head of PACER Plus Implementation Unit, in his keynote highlighted.
We heard yesterday during the Pacific Caucus, there is a lot of passion to ensure that labour mobility is fair and equitable for all, starting from our communities, families, individuals, right through to our employers. The plan is a sharing of our rich and unique understanding of pathways to potential economic opportunity. It strengthens our Pacific regional approach in an increasingly globalized world. Labour mobility celebrates the big blue continent. The most critical asset is our people. As our first face-to-face meeting in 2 years, this is an opportunity to reconnect, to embrace our ainga and wantaks, and importantly, arm ourselves with information and strategic thinking as a region that will improve our respective programs. This year's plan has adopted a new format that we hope meets your needs, adds value to your roles and responsibilities. It has also been developed in a collaborative manner with strong input from our PACER Plus ministers, Labour Mobility Working Group, and other organisations. We know
for your TV2 News. Prevention of sexual exploitation, abuse and harassment, and child protection safeguard were the main focus of the awareness program, which has been conducted by the Conservation International yesterday. Here's more on this report. Conservation International strongly emphasized in all its field program in countries where it has a country office the important need to raise awareness on the impact of sexual exploitation, abuse and harassment, as well as child protection safeguard. The need to ensure that project partners and implementers in any country are aware of the CI policies and that people involved in CI projects are informed of actions they need to take if they feel uncomfortable by any inappropriate actions of anyone involved in CI projects. Yesterday, CI international trainers of ESEAH and Child Protection are conducting a one-day training for all its partners in Samoa, from government ministries as well as local NGOs, Samoa Conservation Society and Samoa Voyaging Society, and UNESCO on awareness raising and understanding of the need to ensure the importance of social and environmental safeguard in any CI project. CI received a grant from New Zealand Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade Manaaki program to support a project titled Securing a Polynesian Promise for Climate and Community Resilience. The Manaaki project aims to enhance the ability of Samoan and Tokelauan local communities to sustainably use and manage marine resources and improve their resilience to climate change using education based on scientific evidence, traditional and contemporary knowledge. The project will work with at least 25 communities in Samoa and across the 3 atolls in Tokelau to implement environmental education programs, fostering generation of ocean stewardship and climate champions to drive sustainable management of marine resources in their communities. Nefana Naisikone for your TV2 News. From sports, the Toa Samoa captain Junior Paulo will miss the historic World Cup semi-final against England at Arsenal's Emirates Stadium after being hit with a one-match ban for striking. Here's more on this report from Elekana Lelifano.
Samoa is through to semi-finals of the Rugby League World Cup for the first time, but the team is facing the prospect of losing a player to suspension. Samoan captain Junior Paulo is set to miss the Pacific Nations historical World Cup semi-final against England at Arsenal's Emirates Stadium after being hit with a one-match ban for striking. Paulo was placed on report for raising his forearm as he ran into Tongan forward David Fifita late in quarter-final win at Warrington, was charged with grade 8 striking. Samoan fullback Joseph Swali'i has also received a caution for raising his knee in a tackle. The case of Joseph is now under the microscope for reviewing, and the decision will be revealed as soon as possible. Junior Paulo and Joseph Swali'i were the tough players of the match against Tonga. These sons of Samoa were placed on report in Samoa's 20-18 win over arch-rivals Tongan, a victory that sets up a semi-final clash with England in London on Sunday morning. Speaking after the match, Samoan coach Matt Paris was hopeful Swali'i will escape a ban and full of praise for the teenagers' performance. Elikana Lelifano for your TV2 News.
Samoan MMA star Mark Hunt has officially announced his retirement from his boxing career after his TKO victory over Sonny Bill Williams. Here's more on this report from Elikana Lelifano.
See what happens.
A genuine respect, but the time for that is over. Sonny Bill Williams, the bigger, longer of the fighters, the more physically fit, probably the more talented.
Sonny Bill Williams, the son of Samoa, has suffered the first loss of his professional boxing career, going down to MMA legend, also his own Samoan brother Mark Hunt, in a big upset. Williams went into the fight during last weekend with a 9-0 record, having last beaten Barry Hall in March, while Hunt's last outgoing was a loss to Paul Callan in 2020. Williams is also 11 years younger, however that counted for nothing as Hunt claimed a TKO win over his fellow Samoan blood, coming back after Williams was on top in the early rounds with some devastating blows in the 4th round.
Watch that, the convoys, the parties, the community gatherings are all there, and at the probably torn, watching two of your loves, Sonny Bill Williams and Mark Hunt, and Hunt has come out with bad intentions. Round number 4, the left hook from Mark Hunt. They talk about second wind. Mark has it right now, but for how much longer? Nice shot from Sonny Bill Williams.
Good work in there, Sonny. Nice. That's what he's going to start getting used to, doing more of that stuff in close.
Sonny Bill Williams doubling up the left hand. And right uppercut from Sonny Bill Williams.
Again, another one. He's finding his range now.
No talking, no sledging. Mark Hunt knocks the mouth guard clean out of Sonny Bill's guard.
Sonny's hurt. Sonny's hurt.
Bill is down. because against the odds, 76 remaining, and hopes and prays he can get through it. Mark Hunt
Going for the kill.
is head hunting. There's the big shot.
It's over, Andy. It's going over. My God.
Hunt confirmed that he will be retiring on top, thanking everyone across Australia, New Zealand, Samoa and the Pacific Islands, and noting that it was sweet to retire in his adopted home of Australia. Mark Richard Hunt was born on the 23rd of March 1974. He was a former New Zealand mixed martial artist and kickboxer of Samoa descent, currently living in Sydney, Australia. Hunt competed in the Ultimate Fighting Championship or UFC until 2018 and was the winner of the 2001 K1 World Grand Prix. He fought 4 professional fights with 2 losses, 1 draw and 1 win with TKO. Irkanaleli Fano for your TV2 News.
And that is the conclusion of your TV2 News for tonight. We'd like to acknowledge the continuous support of the Samoa Water Authority for sponsoring your TV2 News. Maole fa iwa le nalo Samoa Taulogologo mo le nei afiafi, mo le whaafteitele le pulengo le suavai, mo le langolango ino lo Samoa Taulogologo. Manu ia tele le afiafi, tau whaasoifua.
I am a customer.
I am a customer
Of Samoa Water Authority.
Of Samoa Water Authority.
I was so frustrated at having to pay.
So much for water.
Until I was told about leaks.
A hole the size of the tip of a screw can leak up to 3.5 liters in a minute. That's 210 liters in an hour, 5,040 liters per day, 156,240 liters for a month of 31 days. That equates to 156 cubic meters wasted on leaks that cost 305 tala, excluding what you are paying for the water you are using.
I was paying 305 tala for my neglect in fixing leaks around my home. I have since fixed these leaks and now paying only for the water use, saving money that I can spend on my family.
Fix the leakages for generations to come. Water is life.
Tamete so meto tina. Te nei vai tai mi o tele swing out time. E ono tula e mai ni fala lave matu ya. E a fai nai le ola, ma saunga le mu o tato ai. O nisi nei o vai, e ta tau ona ta pena pena iai. E mo mieni ato ma losi mana ngata. A wā tai mi tātou te ua whafose ia ele whale. I sa ili no whaanga saunga le mu. O ne ngalo na ta pena. I mea whenga